Okay, in this video we're going to be checking out the Fly Egg 100. I did a review on this model a while back, but I've actually redid this. I've made a bunch of modifications and upgrades to this and switched some stuff around. I'm going to explain all of that. I think it flies a lot better now. I also did a firmware upgrade as well. Also will explain that as well. The biggest change I've made is changing the motors out. Now this was the version 1 of the Fly Egg 100, which came with the silver 1103 7800 kV motors, and I've upgraded them to these 1104 7500 kV motors. These are actually the SPC maker motors. They actually came off of the 90 NG that I never really got to fly. So that's what these motors are, and on top of that I basically took the whole thing apart and upgraded the connector to an XT30 so I can fly a nice 550 milliamp hour GNB with an XT30 connector, and because I had a JST before. The same flight controller board and ESC. I rearranged the way the components were in here. Before the video transmitter was on top and the receiver was underneath here, and I swapped the positions. I moved the receiver, I removed the video transmitter underneath in this area and moved my receiver up top so that I can have a better reception on the antenna. So the FreeSky receiver is now up on top. You do have, if you want to do that, you have to desolder the connector for the video transmitter that goes to the battery leads, so you can move it to the bottom. So yeah, I just had to, since I was desoldering the battery connector anyway, I went ahead and desoldered the connector for the video transmitter, and then resoldered that when I resoldered on my XT30. Now the camera is still the same. I didn't change that, same angle. The firmware I updated to 3.3.3. I would recommend not going to 3.4 because of issues that I mentioned in a previous video. If you do upgrade to 3.3.3, you will need the FF_PicoBLX target. Otherwise you won't be able to find that in the Betaflight configurator. If you just look for PicoBLX, I think the latest version for PicoBLX is like 3.20, 3.21, something like that. The reason you want to go to that target is then if you flash to 333, you can then enable D-Shot 600, which is what I did on this ESC. So I also upgraded the ESC firmware to 16.7 as well. I put the latest firmware on the flight controller and enabled D-Shot 600, so it flies a lot better now. Has much better flight characteristics and better prop wash handling. And I'll go ahead and just show you my PIDs that you can just copy and use that if you decide to duplicate the changes I made to this setup here. That's pretty much it, and I think it's much improved now with better motors. Still flying 2S, not 3S. You could possibly fly this prop on 3S. Wouldn't recommend it. You're going to have to retune it, of course. I didn't tune it for that. It definitely will fly faster, but the motors will get a lot hotter on 3S versus 2S. And I think it flies totally fine on 2S. I would recommend getting the GMB 550. I think the battery this may have came with the original was a 350 with a low C rating. You want to get if you get a high C rating for this 1104 motor, it'll perform a lot better, as you'll see in the video. Okay, so here's the weight, and everyone's going to ask me how much it weighs. And with the modification, everything comes in at about 75.4 grams. The battery that I used was this one here, the GMB 550 2S 80 to 160C. It comes with an XT30. Obviously to match my connector here. That battery weighs 36.65 grams, so altogether we're coming in at 112 grams. Anyway, it's going to do it for this video. I'm going to show you the flight demo. Let me know if you guys like these kind of mods and improvements on older existing models. I have a lot of older models I could possibly do some mods and improvements to. If you guys have any ideas on things that you want me to tackle, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see if I can make this kind of videos happen in the future. Hey guys, so I'm going to be selling this model off, and probably some future models similarly modded, and basically I'm trying to raise money for the channel so I can go out and buy some of the new stuff that's out there, because there's just a lot of stuff and a lot of requests to get stuff, but I don't have the money to go buy it, so I have to go sell off some of the older stuff. So if you want to buy some of the older stuff here, like I've modded this particular model, for example, leave a comment below with some way for me to get in touch with you and I can arrange the sale for this particular model to you. So let me know in the comments below if you're interested in this kind of stuff and in this particular model. Thanks a lot.